Yeah. We just spoke about it with the playing group that we're never happy with losing, but the performance we got tonight was the type of team we want to be. I thought we challenged the best team in the comp to really a couple of minutes to go in the game. Some parts of the game we still need to improve on, clearly, but there's a lot to like.
If someone had said to you at the start of the year that you'd taken up to Collingwood for 3.5 quarters without your top three and your fairest and best last year and your co-captain, would you believe them?
Look, maybe not when you say it like that, but I think you can always build your belief up with whatever team you put out in the park. We've got a lot of really exciting young players in our team, and sometimes that gives you a little edge as well. It was a performance a step in the right direction, but ultimately we didn't get the job done.
How much do you feel like that was your identity though, with the way you played off half-back and executed the run and dash?
Yeah, there was. I think the way that we want our game to look was that. For large periods, I thought we pressured the game pretty well. We took some things away from Collingwood, but they're stacked with players that can just find new ways to do it, and a little bit of a challenge in the air for us tonight. They probably took too many intercept marks for what we'd like. That's the type of game that you want to see us playing in, and we'll keep working on refining it.
There was a couple of errors late in the third and then early in the fourth that eventually were costly. How much do you look to learn from those in particular?
Yeah, look, those small moments. I think, clearly Jack would like his time again in the D51, but he's probably not in that position too often. But, there's probably not going to concentrate too much on those little moments because there's lots of errors throughout a game of footy, and it's about moving on and what you can do next.
Jobe Shanahan's first game looked pretty impressive. You must have been pretty happy with what he provided.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting for our fans. Get to see what Jobe can do. Competes really hard. He can clunk it. He had a good look at a few in the first quarter as well, which he didn't quite stick on to. But then, even his ability to finish that set shot, he's a really classy player, and the more he plays, the better he'll get. I think we all know that it takes a little bit longer for key position players in this game, but I thought it was a great start from him.
When you look at the effort though at the midfield to keep fighting back, especially at times when they got on top of the centre clearance, what do you think allowed you to get back through that contest there?
Yeah, look, it's a really good point, because I think there was probably the second and third quarter, the first 10 minutes of the quarter, they were pretty dominant, and the game could have got away from us. So to be able to respond in quarter was really pleasing. We've spent a fair bit of time talking about those situations and how we're going to handle them, and a lot of it comes through the preparation of looking forward to and embracing being in those moments. So I thought the ability to be able to shift the momentum at those times where the Pies were right on top, and centre clearance was an issue there for different periods throughout the game. I thought it was a testament to our midfield, our young midfield, and they got to work.
You spoke about the Jack Williams moment in the third term and the miss early on. I spoke to him yesterday about leading a young forward line. You spoke about intercept marks. How do you look to structure that going forward so that those little things obviously get learned from but don't sort of happen going into the rest of the season?
Yeah, well, Pies are the best intercept marking team in the comp as well, so it's a real strength of theirs. I think a little bit of it's got to do with ball use as well. I think there's some room to grow for us in how we use the ball going forward. It's part of our a lot of things that we're working on at the moment, but we've got to keep trying to put the ball to our forwards' advantage and give them the best chance. But there's times also when your job is a key forward, and we look forward to that, is just to find a way to halve or win the marking contest. So we'll continue to train it and work it and value it.
Is there a sense of pride, though? A lot of the positives that you're mentioning seem to come from work ethic, and Brady Hoff repeat efforts, Liam Baker repeat efforts. Is that something you kind of put a stamp on? That's our identity, that's what we're using going forward? Yeah,
I love using those words, because it's what we're talking about internally as well. So it's great that you're starting to pick that up and see that, because that's something we're talking about a lot, the type of team we want to be. So even, Ruben's effort to go back with the fly, that's pretty special. He put himself in a vulnerable position for the team, and, they're things that we want to continue to acknowledge.
What did you come into the game trying to take off Collingwood the most?
I think we were really clear on when they get speed on the ball in live play, how dangerous they could be. But they also have this ability to control the ball as well. So they have quite two different modes. So we spend a lot of time in our defence trying to look after that. And a lot of it had to do with the way we set the ground up. But there's always times that they'll be able to still get through. But I thought we took a fair bit of that away for them. We were able to create some intercepts through the midfield, just couldn't quite capitalise them on the way back through.
Was it only just late in the game when Collingwood sort of had that control over the speed? Sort of defending the lead?
Yeah, look, I think they probably were just a bit more efficient in the last quarter. I think the entries, all the sort of numbers were pretty even still in that last quarter. They just were able to score and we weren't.
Did you get through unscathed?
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, real good.
Can you talk us through that sort of 10-minute period with Edwards in the first quarter? It seemed like the trainer was trying to get him off. He was a little bit reluctant, and then the game stopped. Was that because of him, and then what was the sort of situation there?
Yeah, so to my knowledge, I think it's challenging sometimes to get players off during live play, but our docs stopped the game, which is following the protocols, and I think it's the right thing to do. So they pulled that lever, stopped the game. Harry came off to do his HIA, passed, and then went back on. So I think it was really well handled, followed the process, and the right outcome was achieved.
There was a couple of holding the ball decisions. How difficult is that to coach the players? Because they obviously want to attack the footy, but then they get caught.
Yeah, there were a few challenging ones tonight that I'm going to look to seek some clarity on, because I thought that there were a couple that I just wasn't sure which way they were going to go. So it's a challenging job umpiring this game. It's a really hard job, and we'll just get some clarity from the AFL on some of those decisions and look to train our players once we get that.
He seems to have put together a really settled 10 weeks. Where have you seen him grow the most in that period of time?
I think he's had a really good 10 weeks, I agree with you. He's just been really consistent in his training, in his preparation. He'd be the first to admit that he didn't start the year the way he wanted to. And he's just got to work and improving his craft, his fitness and all parts of it. And I think you're starting to see that consistency come out in his game, which is terrific for us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.